Folks, welcome to the B48 swap video update. It's been a while since I made a full length video about what's going on. So today we are going to dive right into that. First thing first, before we can move on, there is a very major important message I want to give to you guys. I am selling this engine. This is the N20, a fully rebuilt N20 that I am selling. As you are seeing it the way it is, that's how I am selling it. Assembled, all the parts and everything. If you're wondering what are all the parts, we've got forged pistons, we've got forged connecting rods, we've got a rebuild head, we've got aluminum head cover, we've got FCP Oil Pan Baffle, and everything else you know about this engine. I have a description in this video what you are buying for this engine. Oh, the most important part about this engine is that the cylinder block is a closed deck cylinder block by CSS, and I tested this. It is running really good, and it's all ready to go. You have any questions, leave the comments, or you can reach out to me on Instagram. We can talk about this engine, and the price is listed below. All right, a quick recap. This engine that I am working on, the B46. This one is the B46 B20 that I am putting on a 228i. The 228i came with the BMW N20 engine, and I'm taking out that engine and I'm putting it this one, and I already removed that engine. Now it is ready to go. As you can see here, this engine is already on the subframe, and it's a direct bolt-on on the subframe. Depending where you took this engine from, either it is from the F chassis or from the G chassis, it's a direct bolt-on into the front subframe. For my case, which is the F22, and I have a rear-wheel drive, so what I had to do, I got the motor mount from an F chassis, and I removed the motor mount from the G chassis. I am using the OEM N20 motor mount, if that's what you want to know, which is the F22 motor mount, are the same one that I am using, which is also the same motor mount for the F30. There is another company which is called Strom Motorsport. They are doing a lot of B48 swap into E46 and E36. They are doing a custom motor mount. For me, because I have a F22 chassis, I don't have to create a custom motor mount. So my OEM motor mount, which I used on N20, are the same motor mounts that I am using on this B46 or B48, however you wanna call it. This one, it is going to run a rear-wheel drive manual transmission. I do know that there are not a lot of manual transmission have been deployed in the US. We had a few handful of 230 manual transmissions available out there, but unfortunately they are really rare, and if you find them, they are expensive. For me, I would like to use manual transmission still. The reason I am using the manual transmission is because I am partnered with Uniclutch, and I am going to reuse the Uniclutch system. I found it to be very good, and because I am going to put this into a lot of stress, I believe that Uniclutch is the best combination with what I want to use this car for. That being said, I had to get a custom flywheel. This is the flywheel that I am going to use, and this flywheel is a B58 B48 flywheel. Whether you are using a B58 or you are using a B48, this flywheel mounts directly. If you want this flywheel, like you are looking a custom flywheel, this one, I am going to sell it to you because I will be sourcing this one and I'll be putting it on the website. I'll be selling this to you. If you are doing a manual transmission, doesn't matter which transmission you are going to use, and you need a flywheel, lightweight flywheel, this flywheel is only 11 pounds. If you have been following me on Instagram, I've shared a lot of what I'm talking about here. So follow me on Instagram because every single day I am publishing brand new things that I am doing on this engine swap. So a long form video might come, but it may take longer. But on Instagram, I'm doing quick reels and yeah, you will get quick up-to-date stuff out there. So go follow me. The link is in the description, or just click whatever pops up on your screen, whether at the corner or here. Just click that and follow me on Instagram. All right, so we are talking about the transmission, and the very first thing we talk about the flywheel. Now you know which flywheel I am using. Let's move on about the core transmission itself. I messed up. Let me be clear on this one. And I should have listened my gut of the first thing I wanted to do. But it's already too late. I'm already here. Let's just carry on with this. This is the OEM transmission that I used on that engine, which is the N20 engine. And this engine right here is the manual transmission that I'm going to use. So what I did, I cut it so that I can adapt to mount into this one. And it's very interesting that this diameter is bigger, like the flywheel position is really big, because the 8 HP transmission it's huge. I don't know why, but it's huge. Transmission could have just been smaller like this. Anyways, so I've cut this. The next step is to weld this piece over here. I am going to get this piece which I already cut and weld it into this transmission. The good thing is that I went to a machine shop so that they can help me cut straight lines. Using the machine shop to cut this transmission will help to have a better weld, and it's gonna have a better symmetrical position when I sandwich this with the engine, because we don't want errors. We don't want something that will be wobbling. So that's very critical. You have seen me holding this thing throughout this video, and there is a good reason for that. I did release a reel of this and I explained what this is. BMW oil filter location is trash, and also the design of the oil filter is trash. It's failing a lot. I've seen a lot of countless videos, people mentioning about this one, and this was the very first thing I tackled, which is the oil filter relocation. If you have a race car, you're doing a race swap of B48, doesn't matter what car you're using, this is your solution to relocate the oil filter of your B48. I meticulously designed this millimeter per millimeter to fit the OEM location. As you can see, it also uses OEM gasket right there and right here as well. It uses OEM gasket, and there is a general purpose O-ring right over here that we are going to use to seal this engine. These sides, they cover the coolant flow. We don't need the coolant flow. I studied this coolant flow. It doesn't restrict the coolant from recirculating in the engine. So we're good on blocking these parts over here, and that's why you are not seeing the bulge over here compared to what you are seeing online, which is the oil cooler passage. So this one is not the oil cooler passage. This one is for relocating the entire stuff, and you can use any general purpose race spec oil filter, and that's the purpose of this one. Stay tuned when we are going to place it on the car. This one is 3D printed, and it does have my logo on here, hide right over here, and it tells you which one is for oil coming from the filter, and this one the oil coming out of the car, going out of the engine and going into the filter. And from the oil filter relocation, that is where you're going to route it to your oil cooler. So that's what this is for. If you want to stay OEM, it's up to you. Stay with the OEM and stay for its braking and stuff like that. But with this, it's better. You have a great solution overall. All right, this is the part that you all have been waiting for to know, yeah, how am I gonna run this engine? Well, folks, I am going to use a standalone ECU. Before I get to show you the standalone ECU, let me talk about something that is very critical on B series. BMW is using something called heat management module. And the heat management module, it's pretty much just telling the engine, okay, it is at this temperature, I want you to close that loop and open this other loop, and that other loop will not open until a certain temperature and stuff like that. My engine management has the ability, I can script that, meaning I can write code to command telling this engine, okay, now open up the coolant passage for this side, low side, high side, and stuff like that. However, right now, I'm not able to script that because this heat management module talks lean, it doesn't talk CAN. So what that means, there is a protocol transmission in the car, and this one uses the lean protocol. It doesn't use the CAN protocol. If it was a CAN protocol, easy, I could have already scripted that, test it, and see if it's working. But with lean, I have to intercept the message coming out of this heat management module. There are a lot of interceptors out there that I can use. So I'm appealing to you guys, if you would like to help me, I want someone with this engine running, of course, so that you can intercept me the message coming from the heat management module. It's very easy to intercept that. Reach out to me on Instagram. I really want to get that. If I have the message sample for that lean communication, it will help me to decode that message, and I can write the script that will go into production and flash it into my system so that I can control this heat management module. We'll come back to that later. All right, this is the part where everyone is really wondering what to do with the ECU and what ECU to use and how does it work. Let me go straight to point. BMW B series and BMW N series are completely different platform. Don't ever think of anything else. This will become obsolete. Forget about it when you are doing your B series swap. B48, B58, forget about it. This is not gonna work at all. Your next step is to now choosing this one, this guy. This is the B series B48 ECU. There is something that you need to know. Getting this ECU is also not gonna work with N20 wiring harness. When you buy the ECU, when you buy the motor with all the harnesses included, because this harness is completely different to OEM harness of this B58, B48 series. If you don't have money to buy harnesses for the B series, but you still want to use harnesses for the N20s, that would mean break off the harness, right? Break it off. You buy the connectors for this guy, and then you now look up online which harness, which pin goes where on this one. Do you really want to do that? Ask yourself a question. Do you really want to do that? Do you want to reuse N20 harness so that you can hook it up on the B series ECU? Definitely not. When you picked up your ECU, the next thing is you want the key, your N20 key, to work with this ECU. How does it work? You would want to clone you have to clone the SIN number of this one and then you flash it on this guy over here, right? And you also get the VIN, you flash it into this guy, and you get the SIN number from this one. Also, you flash it on the ECU, however that works. Now, there are people that provide that service for you to flash it. However, one thing I've learned so far, and thank you to Be My Doctor for really being so open and working with me and trying to discover how to make this work. Right now, as I'm making this video, I have not found a reliable place other than Be My Doctor that can tell you what works and what doesn't work. We worked together to try to clone what needs to be cloned so that we can write it into this ECU. As we are speaking right now, the B series is not yet compatible. There isn't a Chinese item that does that unless it's OEM. Because let's be honest, it's only China that can help you to crack this and do the swap. It's not available yet. Doesn't matter what you have, whether 2017 series or you have the older series. Even if it's a F series, this one is the F series that I got. It didn't work. The G series didn't work. So it's not available yet. The clone is not available. But if you still want to stay with OEM ECU, what you will do, go online and buy a pair of these. You get the front electronic module and the ECU and the key. Both of those, they are available on eBay. That's where you're going to buy them. And of course, the harness and all that. That's what you need to buy. The combo, that's what you buy to make this work. That is your OEM option. Now let's move on to aftermarket option. What ECU can you use for the aftermarket option? And that's the aftermarket option is the one I choose, but more into that later. Let's talk about the aftermarket options. We have quite a few variety of options, and I went with this one, which I'm going to talk last. So stay tuned on this because there is some very cool stuff I want to share about this one. When you're picking up an aftermarket ECU to run on those modern engines, you need to understand how does your engine work. Is it a direct injection or is it a port injection? The engine that we're working on, which is pretty much most of the modern ECUs, they are direct injection. And direct injection is very complex. Not everyone offers a direct injection capabilities. Here are your options. You've got ECU masters. With ECU master, with EMU Pro, you need to go with EMU Pro, and that's the only one can work with something that is called a GDI driver. So with the aftermarket solution, when you go with something like ECU Master, you have to buy the ECU Master direct injection driver. They call it GDI driver. It is the same way with Link. Remember Drift HQ? They were talking about, hey, B48, E46, Link ECU, and you haven't seen that working, right? You know what? Direct injection is no joke. Direct injection is no joke. Most likely they haven't tapped into it, and it is going to be the very first B48, or let's just say the very first direct injection I know about Link. And there is a guy that I met at PRR show. He's the one going to do the work for Drift HQ. They're going to wire Link ECU and the direct and the GDI driver to make it work on B48, on B58. So that's the only option I know working for Link ECU. Like I said, you've got ECU Master with the GDI driver, Link ECU with the GDI driver. The next one is Motec. Motec does have a one piece which has a support for direct injection. That's also another option. And there comes the option I went with, which is this one. This is an open source ECU. And when I say open source, I mean it. It's open source ECU. It's called RAS EFI. RAS EFI is an open source project. You can download, and then you can create your own board. You can modify it. You can put it however you want it. It's up to you. It's open source. And yeah, the support is open source. You connect it to your computer. You do whatever you want to do with it, however you want to do with it. And that is what I am using. They provide a lot of variety range of open source board. When I say open source board, it means, you see this green thing, you can modify it, put whatever support you want on this green thing, however you want to control this ECU and however you want to control the car. And that's where I mentioned earlier about controlling the heat management module. So if you can help me with the heat management module to intercept the message so that I can write a script, which we call the Lua function, Lua script, that I can flash into this and I can control the heat management of this car. Right now I'm going to use a standard solution like everyone else. I've used the same one that is using on the N20 is the same one I'm going to use, because this one just have a plug and play with that one, and it talks regular analog stuff, so it's easier to put it here. This one in particular, the RAS EFI that I'm going to use, it is called Super UAEFI. You can use either Proteus. There is one that is called Proteus. There is also one that is called just UAEFI. UAEFI means ultra affordable EFI. Literally, that's what it means. UAEFI, super ultra affordable EFI. This is the one that I am using. Of course, it does have a cover. I just choose not to have that because I'm going to create my own enclosure. You see? That's why it's called open source. You can do whatever you want, right? So the way I'm going to do it is to have a clear cover on top of this so that I can see the LEDs. And I'm going to give you why I chose this one. This is very critical. I want to tell you why did I go with this one and not the other solution. So let's talk about the very first one I mentioned, which is ECU Master. Number one, I reached out to them. They didn't want to collaborate with me, and it's expensive. Let's just be honest, it's expensive. When you buy the EMU Pro and you use the GDI driver, very expensive. It's already going out. We are building on a budget, and I share stuff that's out on a budget. Let's go to Link ECU, same thing. They didn't want to collaborate with me. I reached out to them, I never heard back from them. So out of the way. Motec, same thing. I reach out to Motec. I say, hey guys, I want to work with you. No, they're already working with Strom and they don't want to work with me. Let's just be honest right away. Okay. Now there is another one. They are in Europe, and unfortunately they don't have a GDI driver, so I couldn't feather my talk with them. And it's KMS. You can go Google them, KMS. They also make ECUs. They are very well based in Europe. And there comes this solution, which is the open source. One thing I liked about working with open source, I will tune this car by myself, and the tuner platform is not locked. I don't need to unlock this. I don't need to do crazy stuff. The kicker, the real kicker, why I didn't want to go with OEM, okay? Hear me out. When you buy here is why I didn't go with OEM, because I have to buy this bundle, okay? I have to get the FEM, okay? And I have to get the ECU, and I have to buy the bundle. Now, when I get this bundle, specifically with this build that I'm working on, when I go to that, this is what's gonna happen. I will need to unlock this one, and unlock is expensive. It's not cheap. That's the first step. The second step, I have to buy the tune, okay? You see, it's going. So the license is already good because already have a boot mode 3 license, they are going to transfer my license to B48. Think about the stuff I'm using, water methanol injection. That one will require a tune as well. And when it comes to working with this, not everyone understands the water methanol injection of BMWs. So screw that. And I am going to need reflex, or reflex, whatever it's called, on top of this. You see where I'm going? You see where I'm going? So this is not an option. And logging is also trash with boot mode 3. I don't have all the channels when I do logging with boot mode 3. So out of the way, I cannot. With a standalone ECU like this one, RAS UEFI, all right, man, it opens up a lot of opportunities for me. Logging is so easy. You have every channel to you. Whatever there is, let me show you something to tell you what channels I'm talking about. All right, so here's what I was talking about the channels. When I was working with boot mode 3 tuners, they will ask me, hey, do you have a short trim blah 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 channel to log? You cannot. But here I have all these channels that I can play with and know exactly what's going on and all that stuff. Here is something you need to know. This one is 1/4 the price of all the other ECUs I mentioned. This one is only $300, but it delivers just like your other ECUs, ECU Master, Fuel Tech, Infinity, whatever you can call it. So right now, I want you to go to rasefi.com and I want you to buy whatever you want. You can even buy the one that costs about what? $100, and you can still do what I am doing. With $100, you get a full-fledged ECU to power up your car. Like if you don't want to do crazy stuff like I am doing, with $100, a full-fledged ECU available to you on your hands, and you can do whatever you want to do on your engine. So rasefi.com is the platform to go. Again, no sponsor, it's just so good. You can see how energetic I am about this one because it is just so good. And you can see the tuning platform that I'm going to use. I don't need to sign up, I don't need to do anything, I don't need to buy a license to tune my car. You see? You see where I'm going with this? So I hope you understand there is a lot to cover on this one, and this video might end up to be 2 hours and you get tired. So with that being said, I am wiring this ECU, and to end, I just want to show you something that it is working. I'm going to show you this one is working. All right, so the way I'm working, I'm keeping the OEM lines. All right, there's a lot of that I deleted. There's a lot of stuff I deleted. So this is the OEM, this is the map sensor, and here's the thing, I hate MAF. Mass airflow sensor gave me issues with N20. I hate it. MAP is the way to go. This is BMW MAP, and it also has air intake temperature. Intake air temperature is in the same, all in one. So I'm going to wire it, connect it, and I'm going to show you that it is working. One moment, let me do that. All right, I've got the MAP sensor connected to the ECU, and I am going to show you here. And you can see in the tuning software here, we can read the temperature in the room right now. Of course, I can change it to Fahrenheit if I want to, and we've got the voltage coming in right there. And just to tell you that it is working, I am going to disconnect it from here. All right, this one I'm going to disconnect it, and you will see it will go off. So using one hand is not easy. Oh, all right, I disconnected it, and of course we're reading something off right there, and we don't have proper voltage right there. This to tell you that it is off. That was the bit about the ECU that I am using. It's called RAS EFI. You go to rasefi.com, pick yourself whichever you want, pick your flavor. They have so many flavors. Now, RAS EFI does have a plug and play with the GDI driver, which they call powerful GDI. I didn't want to go for that. Reason being, I don't know how long I'm going to stay with this project. I may sell it, or I may just move along to something else. And as a return, this one is open to, I can go up to 8 cylinders. So if there is something like a V8, I can go to V8. Yeah, this one can support all the way up to V8, not 12 cylinders, up to V8. So I'm very cool. Whatever places I go, I can still use that. And that is also, I am doing this harness right here. So this harness will be like my base harness, and I'm going to label it and have its own connector over here, and the rest could be the rest will just be something that is for whatever engine I want to work with. I'm very happy the direction this project is going. So I'm gonna ask you one thing. Let's reach 50,000 followers by the end of March. Let's do that together, and help me reach 1,000 followers on Instagram. Like, subscribe, follow, so that we can do epic stuff. See you soon.